Mr Speaker, there must be hundreds of Labor voters across the country.
Not even.
In fact, I think there's possibly thousands of Labor voters across the country. But I'd imagine, Mr Speaker, that most of them are feeling pretty disillusioned because the Labor Party, even after 5 years, just doesn't look ready to govern. In the last 5 years, well, they're up to their fourth leader. So 4 leaders in 5 years. Helen Clark, Phil Goff, David Shearer, and now leader number 4, we've got David Cunliffe. And the difficulty, of course, Mr Speaker, is that although they keep changing their leaders, they've done nothing about the issue of renewal. And I remember this, Mr Speaker, when we went out of government in 1999, is that there was that period of renewing and refreshing. So what they do is they change the leader, but the MPs behind them are old and tired. So it's a bit like painting over rotting timber, Mr Speaker. They coined a phrase back in 1999, I think it was called dead wood, Mr Speaker. And the problem with the Labor Party, they keep painting the dead wood, the rotting timber, on their fourth Labor leader. And the problem is, when you're inward looking, you keep changing your leader, and when you've stopped making policies, you start making things up. And that's what we saw from David Cunliffe this week. He was caught out saying and quoting what the 2013 census would actually say, and he was caught out with his statistics. What he said, Mr Speaker, the new Labor Party leader, number 4, real medium weekly incomes have dropped since the last census by $45 in Southland and $50 in Waikato and $24 in Taranaki. Actually, since the census, real medium after-tax weekly incomes have increased by 76 in Southland, not gone down by 45, increased by 43 in the Waikato, not gone down, and increased by 85 in the Taranaki, not gone down, Mr Speaker. The leader of the opposition is making things up. And what I was interested in is probably the TV cameras turned off as he was quoting those facts and statistics which were all wrong. He went on to say that Jacinda Ardern won Wellington Central, Clayton Cosgrove is doing advertising for Pantene, and Grant Robertson's actually 6'7". Mr Speaker, this is a Labor leader who does not give truthful statistics, and I don't know if that's knowingly or not. The facts of the matter is that the government spending went up by 50% during the Labor tenure. It's actually well under control now, despite the pressures of the recession, the global financial crisis, and the highest rate, the Canterbury earthquakes. Mr Speaker, inflation was running at 5.1%. We're now enjoying an inflation rate of only 1.4%. And of course, people will remember, in fact, first home buyers will remember, interest rates, mortgage interest rates at about 11%. They're around the 9, 10, 11% mark under Labor, and of course they're averaging about 6% at the moment. And if you're a first home buyer, you would prefer interest rates to be around 5 or 6 or 7%, not the 9, 10 or 11% that you saw under Labor. And just interestingly, although the new Labor Party leader, number 4, said that population growth in the provinces were going down, I'd like to say in my area, in Northland, actually numbers went up by 3,000, Mr Speaker. The population was raised by 3,000 in Northland. It wasn't all me. It wasn't all me, Mr Speaker. A lot of it is to do with government policy and people just simply enjoying the north. We know, Mr Speaker, that offshore we've got endorsement by what we're doing. Standard & Poor's recently affirmed New Zealand's AA+ credit rating. The IMF is, quote, very supportive of what is being done by this government. In its annual check-up of New Zealand's health, the IMF said that National is on the right track with our plan to get to budget surplus which strikes the right balance. So we've got third-party international endorsement of what we're doing. We don't have to make up statistics, Mr Speaker. We don't have to present what are in fact false facts, as the Labour Party are doing. The facts speak for themselves. We're very proud of our record, and we will continue to roll out programs which support New Zealand's economic growth and jobs.
Mr Speaker.
John Hayes.